Hello everyone. Today you will be working on CKLA Skills Unit 1, Lesson 25. In today's lesson, you will tell the difference between the consonant sounds s and z, and then you will choose the correct spelling. You will also read the tricky words was, when, and why. For today's lesson, you will need paper and pencil and an eraser, or a whiteboard marker and your whiteboard and an eraser. You will need these things later in today's lesson, so pause this video now so that you can get your materials and have them sitting to the side ready to go when the time comes. Let's begin by reviewing some of our double letter spellings. Look at the letters you see on this card. These are the letters PP. The PP stands for the P sound. Let's take a look at the keyword. This word is napping. Say napping. Take a look at the power bar. Is this a common spelling for the P sound? This power bar is very small, so this is not a common spelling for the P sound. Notice that this card has a red outline. I will put the spelling card on our sound wall. Remember, PP says P. Take a look at these letters. These letters are BB. BB says B. Say B. Take a look at the keyword. This keyword is rubbing. Say rubbing. Look at the power bar for the BB. Is this a common spelling for the B sound? BB is not a very common spelling for the B sound. Notice that this spelling card is outlined in red. I will put this spelling card on our sound wall. Remember, BB says B. Take a look at these letters. These are the letters TT. TT says T. Look at the keyword. This keyword is sitting. Say sitting. Is this a common spelling for the T sound? Take a look at the power bar and see. This is a small power bar, so this is not a common spelling for the T sound. Notice that this TT card has a red outline. Remember, TT says T. Say T. I will put the spelling card on our sound wall. Take a look at these letters. These are the letters DD. DD says D. Say D. Read the keyword. This keyword is add. Take a look at the power bar. Do you think this is a common spelling for the D sound? This is a lesser common spelling for the D sound. Notice that this sound has a red outline on the spelling card. Remember, DD says D. I will add the spelling card on our sound wall. Repeat after me. D. Take a look at these letters. These are the letters CC. CC says K. Say K. Read the keyword. This keyword is hiccup. Look at the power bar for the CC sound. Is this a common spelling for the K sound? Nope, not a common spelling. This is a very small power bar. Notice that there's a red outline for the CC spelling card. Remember, CC says K. Repeat after me. K. I will put this spelling card on our sound wall. Take a look at this card. This is the GG spelling card. GG says G. Say G. Read the keyword. This keyword is egg. Take a look at the power bar. Is this a common spelling for the G sound? This is not a more common spelling for the G sound. Notice that this spelling card has a red outline. I will put this spelling card on our sound wall. Remember, GG says G. Say G. Now, let's review our sounds. The sounds S and Z sound very similar. Do you remember what we call sounds that sound a lot alike? We call them sister sounds. Both the S and Z are consonant sounds and are made by putting your tongue close to the ridge behind the upper teeth in your mouth and pushing air out of the mouth. But there's a difference between these two sounds. Try this with me. Place your fingers over your ears and your palms on your cheeks, just like we did before. Or you can put your fingertips on your throat. Repeat after me. S, Z, S, Z. Do you feel the difference between the two sounds? Were you able to tell that the Z sound was buzzier than the S sound? The Z sound makes our mouths vibrate. So now we're going to do another activity. I'm going to say two words. One word will begin with the S sound. Say S. And one word will begin with the buzzy Z sound. Say Z. I want you to listen carefully and repeat after me. Say each word while feeling your throat to determine which one was buzzy. So remember, keep your fingers over your ears and the palms of your hands over your cheeks or your fingers on your throat, like we did before. Repeat after me. Sip, zip. Which word was buzzy? Zip was buzzy. It has the Z sound. Repeat after me. Sap, zap. Which word was buzzy? Zap was buzzy. It has the Z sound. Repeat after me. Sit, zit. Which word was buzzy? Zit has the Z sound. Repeat after me. Sing, zing. Which word has the Z sound? Zing has the Z sound. Now let's do some words that have the S or the Z as the last sound. Repeat after me. Bus, buzz. Which word has the Z sound? Buzz has the Z sound. Hiss, his. Which word has the buzzy sound? His has the Z. Peace, peas. Which word has the buzzy sound? Peas Cheese has the buzzy sound. Lice, lies. Which word has the buzzy sound? Lies has the buzzy sound. Pace, pays. Which word has the buzzy sound? Pays has the buzzy sound. Last one. Niece, knees. Which word has the buzzy sound? Knees has the buzzy sound. Now let's go over some words that have the z sound but are spelled with an S. Read this word. This word is cats. What sound do you hear at the end of this word? You hear the s at the end of the word cats. Notice that the S at the end of the word cats shows that we're talking about more than one cat. The S is a plural marker, which means more than one. Read this word. What sound do you hear at the end of this word? This word is dogs, so you hear the z at the end of dogs. Notice that the letter S at the beginning of a word is almost always pronounced as S, but here, like in some other places, especially at the end of the word, the letter S is also often pronounced as Z. Listen, dogs. Let's do some more. Read this word. Plants. What sound do you hear at the end? You hear S at the end of plants. Let's do another. Read this word. Pots. What sound do you hear at the end? You hear S at the end of pots. Read this word. Cups. What sound do you hear at the end? You hear the S at the end of cups. Do some more on your own. Read this word. What sound do you hear at the end? Z. Read this word. What sound do you hear at the end? Z. Read this word. What sound do you hear at the end? S. Read this word. What sound do you hear at the end? Z. So the spelling S for the Z sound is also used in some other common words that are not plural. Remember, plural means more than one. Take a look at these words. Read this word. Is. Read this word. Has. Read this word. His. Read this word. As. Is not a plural word, so we do not count it as a tricky word anymore. In our reader, the word is will not be underlined anymore because the S stands for the Z sound, but it's not plural. We will take the word is off of our tricky word wall since it is not a tricky word anymore. What sound does this represent? This represents the Z sound. Both of the letters S and Z represent the same sound. Z. Take a look at these two words. Dogs. Notice that dogs is spelled with an S, but it has the Z sound. That means there are more than one dog. Dogs. Z, zip. Z has the Z sound. Like a zipper. You zip a zipper. Both the letters S and Z are spellings that represent the same Z sound. Take a look at this tricky word card. Read it. How would you pronounce this word by blending? You may have said w-a-z or w-a-s. This word is actually pronounced w-a-z, as in I was happy. This is the letter W. The W in this word is pronounced exactly as you would expect. W. This is the letter A. The A in this word is the tricky part of the word. It looks like it should say a, but it's actually pronounced This is the letter S. The S in this word stands for the Z sound, as in the word was. When reading was, we pronounce the A as and the S as Z. When writing was, remember to spell the sound with an A and the Z sound with an S. Read this tricky word card. How would you blend this word together? You may say w-e-n, but this word is actually pronounced w-e-n, as in when did you get here? The WH in this word is a tricky part of the word. The W and the H is pronounced w, not w, because the WH is a digraph. The E in this word is pronounced exactly as you would expect, and so is the N in this word. When reading when, we pronounce the WH as w. When writing when, you pronounce the W with WH, so w. Look at this tricky word card. Read it. Blend it together. You may try to blend this word together by saying w, y. This word is actually pronounced w-I, as in, why did you say that? The WH in this word is the tricky part of the word. Remember, WH is a digraph, so it makes the sound w, not w. The Y in this word is also a tricky part of the word. You would expect it to say yeah, but it actually says I. So when reading Y, we pronounce the WH as w and the Y as I. Remember, when writing Y, remember to spell the W with WH and the I with Y. Let's review our spellings for the K sound. Do you remember what they are? There are 4 spellings for the K sound. Can you name them? The 4 spellings for the K sound are C, K, CK, and CC. Remember that pencil, paper, or whiteboard and marker I asked you to get earlier? Make sure you pause this video and get the materials that you need because you are going to need them for the next activity. When you're ready, press play.
We have been studying the 4 ways to spell the sound k. Can you name those 4 spellings? C, K, CK, and double C. All 4 of these spellings can appear in the middle of words. What 2 spellings will we usually see at the beginning of words as the first sound? C and K. What 2 spellings never appear at the beginning of words? Double C and CK. We'll never see them as a spelling of a first sound in a word. What spelling is not used very often and only occurs in the middle of the words? We never see it at the beginning or at the end. Double C. We'll never see it at the end of words. So we're going to take it out of that circle. What spelling is most frequently used to spell the k sound at the end of words? CK. But some words may have K or C for the spelling of the k sound at the end of words as the last sound. Today, I'm going to say a word and you're going to write it. You need to think about what spellings you should use for the k sound based on where that sound appears in the word. If it's a first sound, what 2 spellings could you use? C or K? Should you even consider the spelling CK or double C for a first sound in a word? No, they're never used to spell first sounds. If the sound k appears at the end of the word, what spelling should you probably try first? CK. If that spelling doesn't look right, then try the letter K or the letter C. Should you try double C to spell the last sound in a word? No, double C is only used to spell middle sounds, and it's not used very frequently. So that should be your last choice when you're trying to spell a middle sound. At the beginning of our lesson, I asked you to have a piece of paper and pencil or a whiteboard and marker ready. Now it's time to use them. I'll say a word and I want you to repeat it. Then you'll segment the word, which means you'll break apart each sound. Write the sounds to spell the word. Then we'll see if you're correct. Can. Say it. Can. Break apart the sounds in can. Write can. Okay, time to check it with me. My turn. The first sounding can is k. I'm going to start with the letter C. The next sounding can is a, so I'll use an A for that. The last sounding can is n, so I'll use an N for that. Can is spelled C-A-N. Here's your next word, kiss. Say it. Kiss. Let's break apart the sounds in kiss. Write kiss. My turn. First sound in kiss, k. I'm going to use a K this time. Next sound in kiss, I. I'll write an I. Last sound in kiss, S. That's going to be double S because that sound is at the end of the word and K-I-S just doesn't look right. I know that kiss is K-I-S-S. All right, our next word is luck. Say it. Luck. Break apart the sounds in luck. Right luck. My turn. First sound in luck is L, so I'll write an L. Next sound in luck is so I'll write a U. Now we have our last sound of K. I have 3 choices here. I'm going to try the CK because I know that CK often appears at the end of words. And that does look correct. Luck is spelled L-U-C-K. The next word is skip. What word? Skip. Break apart the sounds in skip. Four sounds, right skip. My turn. First sound in skip, S. Next sound in skip, K. Ooh, that's in the middle of the word, so I have 4 choices. The second sound in skip is spelled with a K. Third sound in skip, I. So I'm going to write an I. Last sound in skip, P. And I'm going to write a P. Skip is spelled S-K-I-P. Here's your next word, milk. Say it, milk. Break apart the sounds in milk. 4 sounds again, right milk. My turn. First sound in milk, Next sound in milk, I. Next sound in milk, Ooh. Last sound in milk, that's a hard one. It is spelled with a K. So milk is spelled M-I-L-K. Here's your next word, crash. Say it, crash. Break apart the sounds in crash. 4 sounds in crash. Write crash. So the K sound appears as the first sound in crash. So my choices are C or K. I'm going to go with the C. Next sound in crash, R. So I use an R. Next sound in crash, A. So I'll use an A. Last sound in crash, Sh. Ooh, that's a digraph. 2 letters that make that digraph are SH. I have the word crash. Here's your next word, scab. Say it, scab. Break apart the sounds in scab. Right scab. My turn. Scab, first sound, S. So I'll write an S. Next sound, K. Oh, it's in the middle. I have 4 choices. C is the correct choice for scab. Next sound, A. So I'll write an A. Last sound, B. So I'll write a B. Scab is spelled S-C-A-B. Here's your next word, doc. Say it, doc. Now this doc is a nickname for doctor. So when Bugs Bunny says, "What's up, doc?" That is the doc that we're looking for right now. Break apart the sounds in doc. Right doc. In this case, when it's a nickname for a doctor, we spell doc as D, D, A, O, K. In this case, when it's a nickname for a doctor, you use C. If it's a dock, like a dock in a water where you walk out to hop on board a boat, then the ending would be CK. But when it's a nickname for a doctor, it simply ends with a C. All right, here's our next word. We've seen this word before. Hiccup. Say it. Hiccup. Break apart the sounds in hiccup. All right, 5 sounds. Write hiccup. My turn. First sound in hiccup, so I'll write an H. Next sound in hiccup, I, so I'll write an I. Next sound in hiccup, K. It's right in the middle of that word. I've seen that word a couple times, and I know that that's one of the few words that we use double C for. Next sound in hiccup, so I'll write a U. Last sound in hiccup, P, so I'll write a P. That's how we spell hiccup. Here's your next word, kelp. Kelp is found on the bottom of the ocean floor. Kelp. Break apart the sounds in kelp. Okay, write kelp. My turn to write kelp. We have a first sound of K. I know that when the next sound is or I, we tend to use a K. Do you notice how when we had the letter I as the spelling of the next sound in kiss, we used a K? Same thing when you have E as the next letter. When you have E or I as the second sound, you're usually going to use a K to spell it. So we already said next sound, which is spelled with an E. Ooh, which is spelled with an L. And then P, which is spelled with a P. And that's how we spell kelp. Here's our last word, quick. Say it, quick. Break apart the sounds in quick. Write quick. My turn to write quick. This was a little bit tricky. We might think that we hear a K in quick, but we actually hear Q. And I know that Q is a digraph spelled with QU. Next sound, I. That's I. Last sound, K. I'm going to use CK. And then I have the word quick.
Now you can use worksheet page 25.1, that's on page 145, to practice reading and writing phrases with a family member. You may cut out the words on this page. Make sure you practice your cutting on the lines so that you can mix up the words to make phrases with the family member. As for the work to submit today, you will not have to submit anything for today's lesson. Remember, there is no submission for this lesson. I hope you have an awesome day. Goodbye.